Chat, the Encouraging One Another podcast, where it's all about encouragement.
This is Kirsty Krause. Gotta do.
I'm had enough living other people's lives, feeling small, like I never even tried. I hear this calling, pulling me to where I need to be. My only choice is to trust and believe in this crazy buzz coming on me. I hear this calling, pulling me to where I need to be. You gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. What works for me, honey, may not work for you. You play to win when you're not afraid to lose, 'cause you gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. You gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. How you play is for you to decide. I'm not looking to give you advice. This is your one ticket on this roller coaster ride. I'll make it wild. Hold on tight on your truth, and you'll be alright. This is your one ticket on this roller coaster ride. You gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. What works for me, honey, may not work for you. You play to win when you're not afraid to lose, 'cause you gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. You gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. Don't listen to the haters saying no you can't, no you can't, no you can't. Smile in your heart, 'cause yes you can, yeah you can, you know you can. You gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. What works for me, honey, may not work for you. You play to win when you're not afraid to lose, 'cause you gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. You gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. Yeah, you gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. You gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. Yeah, you gotta do, baby, what you gotta do. You gotta do, baby, what you gotta do.
Hello, and welcome back to Chit and Chat, the Encouraging One Another podcast. As always, brand new guests each and every Wednesday. My guest today played for the University of Arkansas Razorbacks football team from 1996 to 1999. He is on the all-decade team of the 90s. He racked up some incredible stats as he led the team in tackles in 98-99 season, all SEC, most tackles by a University of Arkansas defensive back. He has appeared in 2 bowl games, one of which was his most memorable, when the Razorbacks crushed the Texas Longhorns in the Cotton Bowl. He led a defense that racked 8 quarterback sacks, held Texas Longhorns to negative 27 rushing yards. He was later drafted in the NFL by the Denver Broncos. He played 5 years there and 3 more for the Detroit Lions. His NFL career, 543 tackles, 10 interceptions, 6 sacks, 1 TD, 7 forced fumbles, and it was time to retire, to walk away. I'm excited to talk with him about who's encouraged him, who inspired him during his career, and what's he up to today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kenoy Kennedy, former Arkansas Razorback, Denver Bronco, and Detroit Lion, and now full-time dad. This is Chin Chat, the encouraging One Noy podcast, where it's always about encouraging others.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good.
Question for you already. I recorded it for you and got you all talked about. I'm talking with Kenoy Kennedy. I'm born and raised in Arkansas, so a big Razorback fan. I love watching you play. I'm Jack talking with you today. And in my house downstairs, short story for you. I got an autographed football from you.
Oh, wow.
We never met, but my brother lives in Denver. I met him. He got an autographed football, and it's sitting by my autographed Sydney Monaco basketball. So the two things I have autographed: two Hogs, Famer, and yourself.
Man, I'm honored, man, to be sitting next to Sydney there, man, and also, man, for your brother to do that for you, man. That's awesome.
He's met Scotty Thurman. He's met a lot of the Broncos, but he still lives there, so he goes most of the Bronco games. So shout out to my brother Shane.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
no doubt.
Before we dive into some fun conversations and kind of your career, I ask some icebreaker questions at my guest, and because it's this portion of the podcast brought to you by they're a local taco shop in the area. Do you like some tacos?
Oh, I love tacos.
Is there a hot spot? You're in Texas now, right?
I am in Texas. Yeah, just east of Dallas. I'm about 30 miles east of Dallas.
I'm sure you many times.
Yes. Yeah, we have. Matter of fact, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I had a great time talking with Greg on my podcast a little while ago. Good guy.
Yeah. Oh, man, great guy.
All right. First question is, if you only had 3 apps on your phone, what 3 apps would you leave on your phone?
3 apps. Well, I'm gonna do Facebook, of course. You know, that's how I keep up with my family and friends, and of course, former teammates and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be Facebook. I'm not a big Instagrammer, but I think once I leave Facebook, I usually go to Instagram after that, and then oh man, my Bible app. So I use it, kind of to get my study on and all of that. So those are my top 3 right there.
Things you just go. I love those moments in my career.
So one would probably be the 99 Tennessee game after they beat us that 98 year.
Mm-hmm.
So beating them in 99. And then probably, let's see, 2 would probably be getting drafted to the Broncos. Well, I'm gonna just say 5. I don't know. I'm not gonna put them in a particular order. So that's number 2. Probably number 3. Oh man, I don't think I've ever been asked this question before. Actually, one would be signing to University of Arkansas.
Okay.
That was a big day for me, especially to come out of small Terrell, Texas, and signing a D1 scholarship. Man, that was huge. And and I tell everybody, they was like, "Why you every shirt you got on is a Razorback shirt?" I was like, "Man, because I left blood, sweat, and tears there, man. It was some of the best days of my life." Man, I met a lot of great people, and we still hang out. My teammates and all that kind of stuff, hang out, and we still got a little chat, Facebook chat going and all that, man. So we try to keep up that way. And then let's see, 4 would probably probably signing to the Detroit Lions. Even though we didn't win that many games, but I just financially, I kind of set myself up for a lot of things, for my future and all that kind of stuff. And then number 5 is retiring. The day I said, I don't want to do this no more. And that was it. Yeah, so, kind of rode that mountain up, and then it was like, yep, this is good enough. It just dropped me off. So
Get off the bus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, number 3. What was your worst job you ever had?
Believe it or not, man, I tell everybody, it was like, well, what's the job you? I said, I worked at a curtain factory when I was in high school, just kind of like make a little money before I went to college.
Right.
So that was my first job. And then, I was on scholarship for 4 years at the University of Arkansas, then played pro, and then I retired. So, and then I worked for Don Tyson, actually Mr. Tyson. I worked at his house in college. So I'm not going to say that was the worst. So I would have to say the curtain job that I only worked for like 2 months
Dang.
in the summer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hollywood's coming calling. They're all going to offer you 1 to 3 roles. You got to pick one of these 3 roles. All right. It's going to be Kenoy Kennedy as A, James Bond,
Okay.
Jason Bourne, or C, Black Panther.
Oh man. Ooh.
You see us having a tuxedo, be some James Bond action, or
Man, no. I'm gonna go with Jason Bourne.
okay.
I love Black Panther, I love James Bond and all that. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, man, this Jason Bourne, man, he's untouchable. And then the Black Panther guy kid, he died and all that. So, I wouldn't make any more sequels, so it'll be starring somebody else, the second sequel. So, hey, Jason Bourne, he's tough. So I'm gonna have to. So I had to keep those Hollywood chicks rolling in.
Kenoy Kennedy as Jason Bourne. That's pretty.
Yeah.
All right. Like finally, this is gonna be either or. All right. So yeah, I'll give you two of them. You pick that you most like. Going out or staying in?
Going out.
Doing the dishes.
Cooking, no doubt. It's not even close.
Sporting event or a concert?
Ooh. Concert.
Okay. Bad music or bad movies?
Bad music.
Working for money or working for a cause?
Working for a cause.
Live in the same place or travel the world?
Travel the world, no doubt.
Last one can be difficult. Fried chicken or barbecue chicken?
Oh, fried chicken. Yes. Yeah. I like the crust. Give me the crunch.
Give me hungry already.
Yes, sir.
Out there who might not know who you are, I watch sports, Arkansas, a little bit for Denver. You play my Seahawks a little bit. Give us a brief bio on who Kenoy Kennedy is.
Kenoy Kennedy, born and raised in Terrell, Texas. I then I was drafted. Went to the University of Arkansas for 4 years on a full ride. Drafted in the second round, the 48th pick overall to the Denver Broncos. Played with Denver for 5 years, and then left Denver, and then went signed with Detroit. So then played with Detroit for 3 years, and then retired after that. So yeah, I never went to Seattle. I think that was Ken. But yeah,
I saw you play. You play the Seahawks at all?
No, not at all.
Really?
Yep. But yeah. I know now. Ken Hamlin did.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, never went to Seattle. So, but I ended up retiring. I was released from Detroit after my 3rd year. I signed a 5-year deal, but it was time to make the bulk of my contract money. So, back then they just release you, so they didn't have to pay you. And it's still the same these days. So, and I told myself, if I ever get caught up in a situation where I'm released, but not because of play, but because of money, at that point it becomes a business to me. Even though I know it was a business the whole time, but now it becomes a business instead of I'm playing for money, not to live the game, because I was released for money. So I said, if that ever happened to me, I'm walking away. And that happened, and I was still healthy and everything. And I was saying, I'm done. My wife was like, what? And so I was like, yeah, I'm done. I was like, because the love is for me would not be there. So, the Jets were calling, other teams were calling, and my agent was like, hey man, the Jets want to sign you if you can pass the physical. And I was like, no, I'm done. He's like, I'm sending my papers in to the NFLPA tomorrow. And so that, it went over well. They can only accept it. But, for me mentally, I was just like, yeah, I'm done, man. For somebody to tell you, hey, if we had 21 other guys like you, we wouldn't lose a game. But if we can get you back for cheaper, we'd love to sign you back. I was like, yeah, no, thank you, I'm good.
Kind of like Barry Sanders.
Yeah,
Walked
exactly,
away.
man. And I was like, oh man, maybe Detroit was the career killer. Barry quit. I quit. I know I wasn't as good as Barry, but then Megatron and all these guys, man, just walked away from the game after leaving Detroit. I was like, oh man.
Well, I got to thank the Detroit Lions this year for helping beat the Packers. So the Squeeze Hawk squeeze.
Oh yeah.
So
Go
Lions just for this podcast.
Oh yeah, I'm rooting for those guys, man. Yeah.
Take time a little bit to your high school days. What sports did you play?
So I played football. Did football all 4 years, of course. Basketball and track. And believe it or not, in football I was a better receiver than I was a DB. And so University of Arkansas is the only school that recruited me as a DB.
Oh wow.
Aggressive. Yeah, I was at receiver and DB, I was aggressive. So as far as I was a blue chip receiver, and so I got recruited by Texas and Kansas and A&M and all these schools. But it really, to me, it didn't matter which position I played or they was going to have me play. I just wanted to play. I didn't want a red shirt or none of that. So I just wanted to get on the field. And then I was like, hey, you come here, we get you on the field. I was like, well, say no more. And then, the rest is history, man. I ended up starting the end of my freshman year and true freshman year. And like I say, the rest is history.
Nice. Did your parents kind of encourage you to play sports and they, help you along the way for encouragement?
Yeah, they did. My both of my parents were, big in sports. My dad and also my stepdad, both of them in the high school Hall of Fame.
Oh wow.
And then my mom could be easily, everybody was like, well, your mom should be in there. And so she was great at basketball. So we were big sports family. All my siblings, all four of us, we all got sports scholarships.
Oh wow.
Play in school. My youngest brother was the defensive player of the year in the whole state of Texas. Believe it or not, you know how big Texas is, but he was the defensive player of the year in the whole state. And then they had bobbleheads of him in college. So I mean, we competed, and we kind of grew up in the country, so we didn't have nothing to do but raise animals and play sports, that type of deal. So this was before the internet and cell phones. So we kind of
before cell phones. What?
Yeah, well, no, they had them, but we didn't have any. So.
Right.
Like my kids say, that was back in the 1900s. It was like that wasn't that long ago, bro.
Who hit harder, you or your brother?
I hit harder, but I mean, I was a safety, and he was a nose guard. So he was, totally different positions, but
a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Was there a coach who really encouraged you to be your best and to just go, leave it all on the field?
Yeah, man, my high school coach, and we're still close to this day. And he would always tell me, hit him in the mouth. This was before football kind of got soft a little bit. And that's kind of where I got my aggressive nature from. Hit him in the mouth. And but so I was like, yeah, coach, can't do that no more. I'm getting fined too much money. So yeah, we got to switch our style up a little bit. Yeah, so but yeah,
fine.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Coach Ryan, man, and I mean he's one heck of a coach. I mean he's coached more D1 players and college football guys that come out of the small town of Terrell, Texas, than I can think of anybody this side of the Mississippi, coming from one small school. So
right, that's great.
He's a heck of a motivator, health coach. I mean, health teacher and all of that, man. So he's one of those guys that can get anybody to do anything because he not only talks it, he lives it. So
when you decided to go to University Arkansas. What was it about that drew you in? Was it the coaches? What type of defense do they play there?
We was just a 4-3 when I first got there, and it was more of the coaches, Coach Jim Washburn. I don't know if you remember him or not, but yeah, Coach Washburn was the biggest factor for me coming there. And one of the things that kind of drew me to him, where I was taking a computer class in high school and we was learning about like mass, how the way they mass produce letters and all of this, where you can just have this database and, you have all these addresses and you can print one letter and it just changes all of the names and addresses on there. So I was learning about that. And then, I would get a kind of generic letter from a college. And I was like, we just learned about this. They didn't type this to me. This going to all these other people, that they're interested in. But Coach Washburn, he would handwrite letters every time. And I was like, man, it's something about that. Just him handwriting a letter and the time that it took and, the personalization of it, he wrote that to me. And I was like, well, you know what? It's something about it. And so I gave him more time than I would give anybody else. Because I feel like he gave me more time, so, and I mean, like say the rest is history.
And when you, who was the head when you were playing?
So it was Danny Ford, my first 2 years.
Okay.
And it was Houston Nutt, my last two.
And so when you got on campus, I bet you kept seeing this big cornerback, free safety, Mr. Atwater, all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it like to try to he was.
Yeah, he was gone. And you know what? For some reason because I went to the facility. I never went around the like where they keep the trophies and all of the names, because this was throughout the stadium. So we would just go to practice, go through the locker room. We had our little private back door. We go through and all of that. And I never knew Atwater went to school there until probably like my junior year. And they was like, hey, man, you're close to breaking Atwater's record. I was like, what? He went to school here? He's like, and I was the biggest Atwater fan ever. But I never knew that he went to University of Arkansas until they was like, hey, man, you only a few tackles. And, I ended up breaking his tackle record and all of that. He's like, yeah, you're probably going to break his record if you stay on pace. It's like, man, I never knew that, but I never told anybody that. So, yeah.
You guys, you and Steve Atwater, man, you would knock someone's on for him, hit it again. Did you have a game during college?
I did not. I didn't have one in college. They just call me KK, for Kenoy Kennedy. But I, in high school, my coaches, Coach Ryan and Coach Dan, they used to call me Bun Bun. Like the chocolates. So it was like, yeah, you smooth like chocolate. So they used to just call me Bun Bun. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to take that name with me when I go to college. So
Bun Bun. That's awesome.
Bun Bun, yeah.
You played a couple of bowl games, the Citrus and the Cotton Bowl. What's it like playing?
Oh, it's amazing, man. It's another opportunity to extend your season. And it's an opportunity to play against, teams that you wouldn't usually play against. Mm-hmm. And so, I always tell, especially, for us to say, we got a chance to play against Tom Brady, and I played against him multiple times in the league, playing in the NFL. But, for guys that don't get to continue playing on, and to say, even like that Citrus Bowl game that we played in 98, or I should have said like the beginning of 99, I believe it was, because it was a New Year's game, I believe. So some of the guys still talking about that to this day, because Tom Brady is still playing. And, he's like, hey, man, Harris is one of the corners that played with us that year. And he was like, hey, I'm going to tell when I'm 90 years old, I'm going to tell my grandkids Tom Brady tried me and he was 0 for 1, against him. So, just stuff like that, man, where guys can still talk about the good old days and talk about it. So, I mean, it means, it may not mean much to some people, but for the guys that actually play in the games, it gives them something to talk about and, kind of live the good old days for a lot of years.
After your college ball, you went to the NFL. Were you Did you ever feel ready to go in NFL physically and mentally?
Yeah. I mean, because I was aggressive. Mentally, I wasn't. I wasn't. I was always humble. I was always, where I was supposed to be and when I was supposed to be. So, uh, mentally, I was there. Now, for some of the intangibles, um, you know, for as the amount of money that you have and all of this kind of stuff where you not hasn't really taken money management classes and all this kind of stuff and being young and all of that. You kind of learn on the fly and you learn real fast on that part. But I was blessed to marry my high school sweetheart and so and if it wasn't on sale, she didn't want it. So I was blessed on that end. So she was like, uh, she was the one telling me, "Hey, you don't need that. Why you gonna buy that?" So yeah, I was blessed, man, on that end. But yeah, but physically I was ready. I went in and worked my butt off, and then end up
Right.
starting my second year and until I retired. Played a lot my rookie year and ended up starting wholeheartedly that second year in the league and for 8 years I never really came out the field unless I was injured or something.
So on draft day, did you try out for teams prior to draft day, like go tryouts and not? Was that around?
Yeah, yeah. So I did the combine and all of that, and then certain teams that were interested in you would fly you out to kind of for like maybe like a 1-on-1 type deal to kind of get to know you and evaluate you a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But I never heard from Denver. Denver is the one that drafted me, but I never heard from him and had no idea that they were going to draft me
Wow.
until draft day. I flew out to Green Bay. I flew out to Kansas City. And I talked with a bunch of other teams, like the Colts, and so I was thinking, maybe I'm going to Green Bay, maybe I'm going Kansas City or something like that. But on draft day, we had a little party at my mom's house in Terrell, and so I was nervous, and so I'm outside playing football with my little cousins and everything. So we, just like, oh, we go play catch because I don't want to sit here and watch the draft because I don't know where I'm going to go,
Yeah.
how high I'm going to go, how low I'm going to go. I'm just like, yep, I'm not going to sit there. It's nerve wracking. So they was like, hey, the Broncos on the phone. I was like, oh, no. And so went in. And so I was on the phone with Shanahan. He was like, hey, if you're watching TV, look at the TV. Your name is going to scroll across the bottom here in a second. And we're going to take you with the 48th pick.
So reference to the movie Draft Day, I love that. Just behind the scenes of the draft and the players, I like playing whatever happens. More can get worried. That's pretty awesome. You can step away and just kind of not worry about it, and the phone call came. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of it is how you prepare for it and putting good stuff on film. A lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but you can't help where you get drafted and all of that because sometimes you get taken off the board, get drafted somewhere else, or somebody else get drafted at a different position and changes everything up. So it's one of those deals where let the chips fall where they may, and then just go make the best out of the opportunity, and don't worry about it because if you put the work in before, if you play well, and if you worked out well, and you tested well, and all that kind of stuff, somebody's going to call your name. So
I was really good at the draft today, the 2000 draft. You had some other teammates, Bobby Williams, David Barrett, Anthony Lucas, Emmanuel Smith, all got drafted.
yeah,
That's a big that year.
yeah. We had a great run some of those years, and then we had a bunch of guys get drafted, and deservingly so. A lot of guys played well and played for a while too. I know Bobby played for multiple years. David played for multiple years. And I believe a couple more guys played for a lot of years. So
I love watching the guys who went to Arkansas, Billy Ray Smith, Barry Foster, Steve Atwater. It's always seen the Razorbacks succeed in pros to watch.
oh yeah, no doubt. And I root for them all the time, even if, some of the younger guys that I've never met, but, just to see that they went to University of Arkansas, you kind of always root for them, and, hopefully hope they do the best.
Do you remember the reception you got in the NFL? Who was it off of?
Yeah, it was against the Jets versus Vinny Testaverde.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, man, I played against Testaverde. I must be old, you know. Yeah, I remember that. And then actually, another short little story about that, man. That was my first ever NFL play.
Wow.
My first ever play, I got in and I was 1-on-1 against Curtis Martin, the running back. And so, got in and I was like, oh, Lord, please don't, it's like you still, even though I played in front of, 100,000 people all, over the years, but, to be out there, because I was more of a special teamer when I first got in the league. And then, I think the safety in front of me got banged up. And so they was like, Kennedy, go in. And I guess they saw it was a rookie coming in. They kind of put me out there 1-on-1. I guess they was go check me. It's like, let's see what he got. And with the interception. And so I laid the ball down, took out running. They was like, hey, Rook, go get your ball. You're supposed to keep him. I was like, oh, I don't know.
And I saw the picture on Facebook. You have all your balls you intercepted, right, in the big case?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, got a bunch of balls, man, and a bunch of game balls and all that kind of stuff.
I saw one you picked off Tom Brady, too. Is that correct?
Yeah, Tom Brady. Yeah, got Tom Brady. Tony Romo, another story. We was playing the Cowboys in Dallas. So I intercepted Tony Romo, and my mom was at the game. So they was sitting kind of close down low. I ran over during the game and gave her the ball. So she had the ball, and she had it. She has what she called a Hall of Fame room, and so it's like all of her kids and our stuff, memorabilia, like jerseys and Hall of Fame, this and that, and game balls and all this kind of stuff. So, and I mean, it's a whole room, so it's probably like a 12 by 12, and there's no wall space, no. And then so we get a little older, and we have kids, so like her grandkids now, so like my kids and my brother's kids, they're over there playing, and so she's not home. And so they go in the room and grab a football. They outside playing football. They outside playing football with the ball that I intercepted from Romo. And she, oh man, she's the nicest lady in the world, but she almost lost it. It's like, almost, don't y'all ever bring these kids over here again? No, she wasn't that bad. So
that's like throwing a ball. That's my son's stuff,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Across the interview, I was getting prepared, and I heard you have a cool story about your number, because you were 29 at Arkansas, and you were 27 for Denver for a period, right?
Yes. Real brief.
You had to go 28. Why?
I went to it. Yeah. Well. So yeah, I was 29. So I wanted to be when I got drafted, they was like, well, what number you want? I was like, well, I want to be 29. They was like, no, you can't be that. Because Howard Griffin, they won multiple Super Bowls with Denver and all of that. So he was still there. He blocked for Terrell Davis and all that. Actually, Terrell Davis was still there too.
Okay.
So they was like, well, you can't be 29. Someone's already 29. It's Howard Griffin. I was like, okay. It's like, well, we'll give you 27. We'll give you Steve Atwater's number. And I was like, oh man, that's some big shoes to fill. I don't know if I really want to do that, but I said, okay, that'll work. I'll be 27. I'm up for the challenge. I'll take it. And so by this time, I was 27 for like 2 days, I believe. And so this time they signed Terrell Buckley, who had played for the Miami Dolphins and around the league for a long time. So he came and was like, hey, Rook, I've been 27 my whole career. I want to see if I can get that number. And I was like, okay. I just said, okay, like I don't mind. I'm thinking it's not my number anyway, so I give it to you. He was like, I'll give you $2,000 for it. And I was like, well, yeah, of course you can get it. I was like, ooh, I feel like I won the lottery. Then I was like, what? Yeah, so so I went back to the equipment manager. He was like, what other numbers you got? Terrell Buckley wants this number. He's like, well, we got 28. I said, well, I'll take it. So I was like, just like 27 on my number, I'll make my number out of this 28. So I took the money and we had just bought a house down there. I had just got engaged to my wife, and then so we was going furniture shopping. I was like, hey, look, I got this $2,000. Let's go buy us a living room suite. So we went and bought love seat, a couch, and everything. I was like, ooh, thank you, Lord.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah. Hey, who was the hardest guy you had to tackle in the NFL?
So it was either between Adrian Peterson or LaDainian Tomlinson. Those two guys, man. And the toughest guys to tackle are not the big bruiser backs, because what they're gonna do. And it's not the guys the shifty guys, because you know what they're gonna do. They're either gonna make you miss, but the big bruiser guys, they're gonna try to run over you. But it's the guys that can run around you or run over you. Those are the guys who are the hardest to tackle. Because it's just depending on how they feeling. It's like, I'm gonna run around you this time, but the next play I'm gonna truck you. So
right.
You don't know if you need to brace yourself or stay light on your toes. So
I came across some pictures on your Facebook. I was doing my research, found a picture of Larry Fitzgerald you played against, Michael Vick, Gonzalez, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss.
Yeah,
big time players, man.
And a bunch of Hall of Famers, man. I've played against, and made plays against, a bunch of them too. And I tell everybody, man, they have a little debate of who's the greatest player to come out of, our little town. And I was like, yeah, I'm not saying it's me, but y'all better check my stats.
Do you stay in contact with some former teammates, either pro and college? And you guys hang out?
I do. And like I say, I'm on a group chat with a bunch of Broncos also, and also with a bunch of Razorbacks. And so, bunch of guys that I played with in Denver, like, Champ Bailey and all those guys, we're on a little group. And especially like when the playoffs and stuff wrong.
A lot of trash talking?
Yeah, well, not trash talking really. Guys, we're far removed from the game. So, just talking about game situations. Okay. Did we see this game? And, how did the Jaguars come back from 27 down? That all that, how did that? All of that
that's great. I know. I turned it off, man. I saw her down. Like, what just happened?
Yeah, exactly. So, we just chat about that. Some guys don't say too much on there, but a lot of guys, are real texty.
You didn't play in either college or pro?
Of course, Razorback Stadium, probably one of the best ones. And, and if not for as a home stadium, I would have to go with probably Tennessee. Because it was crazy loud, and just that experience when we were, both those were top 10 teams, and I the record had something to do with it too. Mm-hmm. And then I think the most intimidating one was probably, and I was young too, because I was straight out of high school. We played University of Florida, my first college game. That's when they had Rodell Anthony, Fred Taylor, Jacquez Green, and then they had I forget the quarterback who won the Heisman.
Tebow?
No, not Tebow. This was before Tebow. Oh man. But he won the Heisman. And so I think they ended up winning that championship that year, if I'm not mistaken. But straight out of high school, they was doing that Florida Gator chump. And, I'm running through the tunnel. I'm used to playing in front of probably 600, 700 people. And then to come out to see, that many people. And I was like, oh, I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Like, oh, man. And they run the opening kickoff back. And I was like, what have I got myself into? So, yeah, 52-0 later, we was on a plane back to Fayetteville. It was like, oh, man.
While in Denver, you had some downtime. I came across the video. You had some other hobbies. I saw a video where you played some 3-on-3 paintball. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll share about that a little bit and your nickname,
Yeah.
Kenoy Killer.
Yeah, yeah, man. In my that's my boy Delta, man. So he had a show with the news channel there. And I think it was called Delta Drops In. And so he would just do different things every week. And so one day, me and him was like best friends. So he's like, "Hey, bro, I got this show. I want to get you on it. We go do a little paintballing." And so it was me, him, and one other guy, I guess the news station guys, the sports broadcasters and all of that. So we just went out for a little day of fun, man, and something to put on air. But yeah, it was a good time.
You got some pretty good shots in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Good time.
So now your sports career is over. What are you doing now in the retired life?
Man, raising kids. I have my oldest son is a senior this year, so like I was telling you, I've been his biggest cheerleader, and so and then I have another son that's a freshman. Well, my oldest son, he's 2 years. He was first team all district, so he played like outside linebacker. So he's more of a monster rover, strong safety type, but in the defense that they play, he's considered an outside linebacker. So, I mean, he's a heck of a little player. He's just a little undersized. Wish he was a little taller, but I mean, he's tough as nails. But
What if he gets that, huh?
yeah, yeah. I wish he had my size, but his mom side of the family is a little smaller, so he took their size, but took my toughness. But I have another son who's a freshman, and he's just as big as my senior, and he's only 14. So he took my size, but hopefully I just need to get him tough. He's nice. He's too nice. I said, man, I might need to start feeding you some hot sauce before the game, make you mad or something. So but he's gonna be special. So
As we begin to wrap up, I was wondering if you might have any words of encouragement for folks out there. Maybe they're from a small high school like you were from, and they got a few dreams and aspirations. Any words of encouragement for kids out there to just shoot for the moon, shoot for their dreams?
Yeah, I would tell them, man, you got one time to make a first impression, and so what I tell my kids too, it's the small things that coaches and all of these recruits look for. It's thousands of kids out there, but what's going to separate you from the rest? It's when the ball's not coming to you, are you going to run to the ball, or you're going to sprint to the ball, or you're going to, it's like, well, it's not coming to me. You're going to jog. So
lollygag.
You're going to lollygag. So, I mean, it's thousands of kids that lollygag all the time. But what's going to make you special and make you stand out? Somebody, they can be watching tape on another kid, but if you're the one that's running around and sprinting, they're going to say, well, who is this guy? I know I'm here to see number 12, but who is this number 33?
Mm-hmm.
So it's stuff like that. And especially nowadays, the way you can just share video and stuff online, man. There's schools everywhere that's looking for special players, but it takes a special player, and you got to do the things that make you special. You go work hard. You got to get in the weight room. You got to be where you're supposed to be on time. You got to, take care of your responsibilities, because all of that stuff matters when it comes to going to that next level. So, you can be the best athlete in the world, but if you're not going to show up, you're not going to be on time, you're not going to pass your grades, I can't use you.
Yep.
So
I played baseball for a number of years, just the city league, and my biggest thing was sprint to first base. I don't care if you're walking a little dinky ground ball, just run to first base. I hate when pros are kind of jogging to first base. I know they get paid millions of dollars, but show a little more into your step.
Exactly.
Man.
Yes, sir. And that's free. That don't cost you nothing to sprint.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, man, appreciate it. I'm glad we can connect and to get kind of who Kenoy is, and kind of get your story. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Yes, thank you.
Let's stay in touch, and when your boys hit it big, let me know. We'll chat with them as well.
That'll work. Sounds good to me.
Take care, man. This is Kenoy Kennedy, former Arkansas Razorback, Denver Bronco, Detroit Lion. Thanks very much. Have a good day.
All right, appreciate it, Joe. All right.
Take care, buddy.
This song is by Corey M. Coons. He's a singer from Canada. He'll be on the show next week. Can't wait to talk to him and get his story. But this is a song called Long Hard Rain. Corey M. Coons.
I feel it on my skin, running down my face. Here we are again, just a beggar and a thief. Or another glass of red wine, smoke another cigarette. Like the bitter sting of moonshine in the long hard rain. Long hard rain. You can take it on the run, throwing caution to the wind. And like a bullet from a six gun, a silver dagger on your head. Got me turning on a straight line in this one-story town. With your finger on the trigger, lead me back to the well. You've been dragging this heart around, just another tough love tattooed clown. Oh, still hanging on a heartbreak melody, waiting on love to set us free. Set us free. I can feel it on my skin, still running down my face. Here we are again, both a beggar and a thief. So pour another glass of red wine, smoke that last cigarette. With the bitter sting of moonshine comes a long hard rain. Another tough love tattooed clown. Oh, still hanging on a heartbreak melody, waiting on love to set us free. You've been dragging my heart around, just another tough love tattooed clown.
This is Grieve the Astronaut with my good friend Raven Hayden. It's called A Beautiful Place.
like a fool. You make my soul fly away. Oh, and you take me away to a beautiful place. And you take me away to a beautiful place. And you take me away to a beautiful place. You make me want to believe. You help me open up my eyes. You make me want to hear your voice. And you take me away to a beautiful place. You take me away to a beautiful place. You take me away to a beautiful place. Oh, and you take me away to a beautiful place. Oh, and you take me away to your heart. You make life look so beautiful. You make me dance like a fool. You make my soul fly away. Oh, you take me away to a beautiful place. And you take me away, 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 and you take me away. Take me away to a beautiful place. You take me away to a beautiful place. You take me away to a beautiful place. Why you take me away to your heart? Oh, you take me away to your heart.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Craving donuts? Craving fresh made daily donuts? Lone Star Donuts. They have over 50 flavors. Sprinkles, no sprinkles. Filled, not filled. Chocolate, glazed, maple donuts with real bacon. Cinnamon rolls,
They are so good, so light, and so fluffy. These are not your normal donuts. These are Texas-style donuts. If you know what been to Texas, nothing's small in Texas. Go see my friends at Lone Star Donuts, now with 2 locations. One in Silverdale, Washington at 1087 Maury Place. Their phone number is 360-204-5021 in Silverdale, or Port Orchard at 2649 Mile Hill Drive. Their number there is 360-443-2600. You can find them on Facebook as well. Lone Star Donuts. Life is happier with donuts. Donuts from Lone Star Donuts.
Are you craving some authentic, fresh Mexican food? I got 2 places for you. Are you ready? You got a pen and paper? 1, Tequila Street. It's a mobile food truck located in Silverdale, Washington at 9571 Silverdale Way. They have some of the best breakfast burritos I've ever eaten. My favorite is the barbecued pulled pork burrito. They have other Mexican items as well, but breakfast burritos are amazing. You can reach them at 360-914-9152. That's Tequila Street. Also, at the Kitsap Mall in Silverdale, Washington, there's Tequila. There, they have over 5 kinds of tacos, burritos, chimichangas, and my favorite there, grilled jalapenos. Delicious. I know, I'm getting you hungry, right? Either Tequila Street or Tequila, and their number at the mall is 360-698-4335. Roberto and his staff are amazing. They're friendly, and their food is delicious. Come on by, check them out. That's Tequila Street at 9571 Silverdale Way in Silverdale, or Tequila at the Kitsap Mall in Silverdale. 360-698-4335. I'm telling you, they got some of the best Mexican food in Kitsap County. It's locally owned and operated and very, very good. See you there. Thank you so much for being part of the Chit and Chat Encouraging One-on-One podcast today. My guest was Kenoy Kennedy, who played for the University of Arkansas Razorback football team, as well as the Denver Broncos and Detroit Lions. We had a fun conversation, just getting to know him. It was pretty awesome. Also featuring this podcast, music by Corey M. Coons. You can check out his website at corymcoons.com. Also, Kirsty Kraus. You can check out her website at kirstykraus.com. And my good friend Raymond Hayden with Grieve the Astronaut. You can check out his website at raymondhayden.weebly.com. He also hosts his own podcast called Rubbing Elbows. And I've always enjoyed having each of these musicians on and sharing their music. And this podcast is all about encouraging others, having fun conversations. So as you're driving or running kids to and from errands and practices and whatnot, I'm glad you could be able to throw it on and follow us. Brand new episodes each and every Wednesday, and just about encouraging others and having fun conversations, just like having a conversation with somebody with a cup of coffee. Thank you for being part of this podcast. Continue to follow us and support us, and hoping we got some exciting things coming up here in 2023 with a website, maybe some merchandise, maybe. So just want to make the Chit and Chat Encouraging One podcast encouraging and uplifting for anyone out there, wherever you're at, here in the United States, or talking to Corey, who lives in Canada. So it was fun talking with him. Until next time, my name's Jody, host of the Chit and Chat Encouraging One podcast. Have a great day. This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one other podcast. What it's all about, encouraging others.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.